Welcome to ESI Africa Insights. For this episode, I am speaking with Vally Padayachee, who is an energy expert in South Africa. Welcome, Vally.
Thank you very much, Nicolette, and thank you to ESI for inviting me.
So we want to talk about the tariff, electricity tariffs, not only from the municipal point of view, but also from the end users. End users feel that the prices are too high. Municipalities feel that, or utilities feel that the price is just not cost reflective. So what is the middle ground?
Well, in any business, whether it's private sector, public sector, municipal, ESCOM, you cannot remain in business if you don't recover your costs. So you recover your costs in private sector, you have a profit margin. In the public sector, we have what we call a ordinary margin into that. Now, the tariffs have to be cost reflective. Now, unfortunately, for various reasons, there's another debate. Our tariffs are not cost reflective. If I can talk on the municipal side, a large number of municipalities, in fact, the far majority, should have a cost of supply study done. Well, that's your starting point. So if you have a cost of supply done, then you can understand your cost better, and then you can put in your margin, etc. So we don't have that. That's one. Then the other one is lots of the, let's call it the municipal entities, the power utilities, there's a lot of inefficiencies and they're very ineffective in that. So there's a lot of costs there that if it was done properly, we could save, right? So those are the two aspects. Then bear in mind that municipalities actually buy from ESCOM. So almost every Munich and Metro buys the bulk of their power, bulk supply, from ESCOM. Now, ESCOM prices have gone through the roof. I think I stand to be corrected, it's about 500% or 300 to 500% in the last 5 years. The prices have gone through the roof. Now, the municipalities have to buy from ESCOM and still put on a margin for that and sell to the end-use customer. So the end-use customer, Munich customer, is also paying a huge price. The other aspect is, and this is key, and not many of the people are aware of this, is that the cost of sales of a typical Munich or a Metro, I would argue the far majority, ranges from about 75% to 95% of the income statement. So if you look at a typical income statement of a Metro or a Munich, 75 to 90% goes towards purchasing power from ESCOM. So if you accept that, it means that only 25% to 10% of the operating budget is allowed to run the business. So that's why Munichs are in significant problem. So municipalities are virtual resellers of ESCOM. Okay, so that's the next big challenge, which affects pricing, is that it goes back to the model, the operating model, and this is an important point that I need to make. The operating model of a typical municipality is no longer working. The model that's been there in place is the kilowatt hour model, the energy model, right? So and it's sold as a commodity. So you have a lumped up tariff. Now, just jumping on the side, when municipalities were created, the power that maybe said, you will recover your costs through trading services, meaning water, electricity, and sanitation. So for your CapEx and OpEx, it'll be the user pay principle, right? And as government, we'll give you 10%. So that's the equitable share. So they get 10%, 90% is the user pay. That's fine if the user is able to pay and wants to pay. Now, in South Africa, okay, there's a balance to it. We have 95% poor people, so they can't afford to pay. The load shedding has exacerbated it. So the municipalities are not collecting the revenues as they would like. That's why most of them are bankrupt. I mean, Munich's owning Eskom about 76 billion rand. But there's no such thing as a free lunch. So the Munichs have to recover the cost, and they tend to push the prices up. So that's just the tip of the iceberg, Nicolette. But what I'm saying, and just to talk to the last point, the model has to change. So we need to move from the energy kilowatt hour model to a grid services model. So I think there's a appreciation and an acceptance by both Eskom and the municipalities in general terms to move to a services model. I think the services model will be the lifesaver of Eskom and municipalities from a revenue perspective.
Right. I think that's a very good information that you have shared. And from an end user perspective, it's about using energy efficiency principles to keep your consumption down so that you can still pay that tariff, which is a tariff that the municipalities desperately need. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video and have a powerful day.